everybody? What is cracking? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we'll roll. We will get this thing moving, baby. If you know what I'm screaming. Okay, Alia. Trish, what's up? Got the cookie. Barbian. Good to see you. Hello. John Baldwin, what's up, bud? Trish again, 3 of them. Edward, John, Trish. Chewbacca 2020. Love me some Star Wars. I'll show you guys my background in the next week or so. I'm going to start showing that during my live stream. You'll probably start seeing my big ugly mug up in here too. I'm just trying to do that to bring a little extra something. I ain't trying to scare people or nothing, if you know what I mean. Hey, Ripper, what's up, brother? Hey, Renee, Marilyn, Barbie, good to see you. Kelly. Who else? Gunslingers in the house. Jan, Carol, Daryl, what's up? Tiger's Eye, Rockstar, Angie K, The Mindful Metaphysics, what's up, Physical? Scrappy Dappy Doo! And Scooby Too. Okay, Pamela Burkle, I guess. Angie K, Deborah Thompson, Curb Creeper, what's up? Brian Stevens, what's happening, Joy? Help me with that one. Is that a teen? Maybe? I don't want to butcher your name, so I'm not going to try to even... Yeah. What's up, Geneva? Good to see you. Jackwell. Angie's in the house. Okay. All right, guys. Yeah. What's up, Planet Max? What's going on, Marilyn Adams? Good to see you. So, yes, I know I'm starting before the 10:15 spot. I was trying to get on here even earlier, but I just couldn't get it done. My daughter had color guard practice, flags and stuff. And I had to go pick her up. And, yeah. And my wife and my dog's in bed. She's got work in the morning. So that's what's going on with that. But, I also want to I try to sneak my stuff in here before Mark goes live. And I've been doing that pretty successful here lately. So I've been trying just to get it in there. And, you know, because they do kind of fluctuate the time that they go live. So, but anyway. So, let's just jump into it. The first thing I want to address, guys, is this CME that we were expecting to hit. And I kind of talked about this yesterday also. It did hit, okay? Make no bones about it. It hit. It just was not effective enough. It wasn't hard enough. Our magnetic polarity really didn't stay in a -6 orientation or more negative long enough for that thing really to really hit us really hard. And that, you know, we got close, and I talked about it right here, but after I got all streamed, I actually looked at it again, and we went back up to a KP of 4 for about 6 hours here. And so we went back. I thought, man, are we getting hit just like really, really late from their forecasting? Because that's really kind of what it was looking like. And they were forecasting a G1 for these two time slots here. Okay? So their forecasting was pretty much right on. You know, even though it didn't get to G1, that's close. I'm sorry, guys. They got that one right. And that was a difficult one to forecast too. I'll have to give them that. I give them credit on that one. That was definitely a good job on that end of it. But we did not get into geomagnetic storming, so I'm not really going to talk too much about that. Also, guys, the sunspot that had been firing the X flares. Okay, that's where all the activity's been coming from. That was the same sunspot that was involved in the G5 storm about a month ago. It's on its 3rd lap around. And it looks like it's getting healthy again from what I can tell. Because now it's on the backside now. Okay? And what I mean, it's on the backside of the sun. So I'll show it to you. It's here, right? It is now fully on that backside. So anything that's happening with that thing is going to go off the back. And let me tell you, there's still things going on. Hey, what's up, Christian Butterfly? You made it to a live. Hey, I want to say something real quick, too. Hey, Isaac, what's going on? Greta, the other one. Tommy Bird's in the house, baby. Heck yeah. Good to see Tommy. Good to see Tommy. Jan Barrett, BK's in the house. Okay, now, Carol Ann, what's up? Will we be able to see the comet from North America? The comet is probably no longer a comet. Let me show you why here in just a minute, okay? So, let me, this definitely is on the backside now, okay? So, with that being said, it is very active again. So it's been firing just left and right again. It'll probably make it the trip back around again, guys. Now, I can't say that for certain, but if you look at this, okay, see, you see it's gone now, right? But we got this other area of the sun that's it can get active. It doesn't look very unstable, though. We don't have a lot of reds and blues here mixing. Those would be magnetic polarities. We don't have a whole lot going on the top of the sun. It looks like the sun's taking a break for a day or two here. Okay? Now, every time I've said that in the past, in about a day or two, it just freaking goes off. Okay? Now, I say that, but I also want to draw your guys' attention to, this is the 304 angstrom. It's a part of the light spectrum we can't see with our eyes. And they put an extreme ultraviolet filter on this imager, and it lets us see ionized helium. So with that being said, we're able to see plasma fairly well. Okay? Some of the plasma anyway. And when we see these big dark ropes laying across the surface of the sun, those are magnetic filaments. Okay? You got charged particles traveling back and forth on that, right? Everything is magnetic. So when those things are going back and forth, they don't have to have a sunspot. They don't have to have a flare to get these suckers to erupt. Sometimes they just destabilize and lift off and explode out. And it's just like the incandescent filament inside of an old style light bulb. Okay, anybody younger than 20 has not got a clue what I'm talking about. Everything's LED now. They used to be incandescents, and that actually had a filament. I should show you a picture. But if you've ever seen your parent grab a light bulb, hold it up to their ear and shake it, that's an incandescent light bulb. When the filament breaks inside of that thing, it'll shake. That's what you're hearing. You're hearing that little wire from the filament rattling back and forth. So what that means is that filament's there for one reason. The whole thing is actually a filament, but they curl it in the middle. What that does is it causes drag, basically, okay? And it makes it harder for the electricity to flow through it, so it generates heat. The heat generates light, hence a light bulb, right? It's a resistor, basically, in the middle of a filament. Now, with that being said, this is very similar. So these things will break and bust and just lift off. Now, typically they start to lift off and then they break, right? They snap out. But these are, guys, that's a long distance, okay? That is the radius of the sun, right here to here. And it's longer than that. It'll go all the way across the whole front sometimes. We've seen them. Even go further, just long ones. So when they decide if they decide to lift off and snap right in the middle, you see this right here? It's kind of what looks like going on here, and I don't know for sure. I haven't looked. Hold on. No. That's different, okay? So these are two little arcs, separate ones. Again, those are magnetic lines, okay? They're arcing up, and you're seeing what you see there, the light there is charged particles traveling on that line. So, but I'm saying this about the filaments because there's a bunch of them here on the front side of the sun right now. Okay? And these, to me, if we're going to take a CME of any sort here in the next day or two, it could be from some of these filaments. It just seems like that's the name of the game with the sun right this second. Also, look, everywhere you look on the limb of the sun, you got some plasma sticking out. And that's not what we typically see here on this 304. You come over here, obviously you're going to look at a different gas. This is 211, different part of the light spectrum, so it sees a different gas. You don't really see that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference of what we're talking about here in the angstroms of light. Usually, especially during like solar minimum or kind of like on our way to solar minimum or on our way to solar max, things start to ramp up, and we do start seeing just pretty much a solid just activity everywhere, okay? But with that being said, I think we got to watch for filaments, okay? That's really why I was bringing that up. But this sunspot is still very active. Okay, you see that? Right there, see that? Watch the big disturbance over here. Let me roll it back. See that? That's on the backside. That is a large area of the sun. Guys, that's a big eruption. Whatever eruption that was, if it was on this side, we'd probably be talking geomagnetic storms again. Okay? So that's definitely a decent sized eruption back there. And it's from that same sunspot. So that's what I just wanted to show you guys that. I wanted to make sure that we don't forget about that sunspot, because I do think it has a decent chance of making its way back through again. Now, what I do want to show you, though, is, let's do it on this one. Remember yesterday during the end of my live stream, I showed you guys this little part. We had an eruption right here, and I didn't have enough data to really show you what was actually happening. So watch this right here. Let's see if we can get it to. I should have had it prepped on that spot. Okay, did you see that? Watch right here. This is not a sunspot. This is not a flare. It just lifted off and had a CME. Boom. Okay? Now, I don't think that that's really coming at us. We may take a glancing shot from that, but it'll be so weak we won't even know it hit. Okay? So I'm not worried about that, but I wanted you guys to see it. But you'll see it like here in the atmosphere, and then you'll see it even kind of come down here a little bit and open up. See that? That was a secondary eruption right there. And we oftentimes see that. We'll see one eruption, and it'll destabilize the area around it, and it'll erupt there also. Okay, so yes, let's go to the comet. All right, let's go down here, and what I'm going to do is show you this first. Okay, let me pause that. I tell you what, I'm just going to take you over here to Soho, because I want to show you where our seeds, and show you where the satellite's at. Here's Earth. Here's the satellite we're going to be looking from. Okay, it's out in front of us, always looking at the sun. It's as if you walked outside and looked up. That simple. I don't really need to go much more into detail there. So let's look at today's run. Seeds is back up and running, thank God. And obviously, I'm sure you guys seen that big streak across there on the bottom. That's a pretty visual sun diving comet here. Okay, and I can't say it's a sun diver for 100%. It may have been a sun grazer, because I didn't see it actually dive in towards the middle of the sun, as far as getting inside this black occulter disc or this red one. This is the same image, guys. This is a difference image, and this is just the regular coronagraph imaging. But these discs, it's the same disc, is what I'm trying to tell you. They just use different filters, okay? So the disc is a physical disc. It blocks the main light of the sun so we can get an image at all, you know? So let's do that. But let me show you this real quick. Now, when I was looking at this, I don't know that I've ever seen the difference imaging do what this did. Okay, and I'll show you in just a second. But before we get there, guys, can you guys give me a roll call in there? And also, guys, anybody that's been gifting memberships and stuff, thank you so much. It's helping out a lot. If you guys want to get more memberships, become a member, any of that, it's there. We're going to be doing another members only stream here at the end of this week, probably. I'm going to add an extra one this week because we've had so many of them. Hey, Deep Quake, good to see you, brother. 79 mark, whatever that means. I'm not sure what that means, brother. What's up, Deep Quake? Good to see you. Thank you for all the gifted memberships you've been giving, brother. I can sit here and say it all the time, and I will mention this too. During that live stream the other day where everybody was gifting a lot of the memberships and stuff, I did say thank you a lot. I don't regret that, okay? But I do also understand that I spent a great amount of time showing thanks to people, okay? So I get it. So I tried this yesterday, and it worked really, really well. And I'm going to stop in the middle and say thanks to anybody that gave super chats and all that. I will stop when somebody gifts memberships and say thank you. And then I'll mention it again at the halfway point, and we'll talk about it at the end. That way I am not constantly doing that. Because I've been on streams before myself, and when that stuff is going on, it does distract from the content. Okay? So that's what I'll say. Illinois, baby. Love it, Ray. Love it. Maine, BC, Idaho, Pittsburgh, Deep Quake, likes. Oh, 79 likes. Got you, brother. West Virginia, Ohio, Northwest Ohio. Awesome. You're not too far from me. Where did I start here? East Tennessee, baby. Is it East Tennessee Prepping? He's got a channel too. Go check him out. I've seen Rip in here. Rip talks about him quite a bit. I'm a subscriber to his channel. You guys should get over and check him out. Laura K, drink that Kool-Aid, baby. That's right. That's right. Mama Sap, baby. PA, love it. Love Pennsylvania. I got family from, in case you guys don't know this, guys. Did you guys know that there's 2 towns in Pennsylvania? And I think I've talked about this before. India, love it. Ashant Sane, love that. That's awesome. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. St. Pete, Florida. But there's a town called Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Yes, I know everybody's going straight to that thought process. But did you know, coming, I think it's from the south end of town, you have to go through a town called Blue Balls to get to Intercourse, Pennsylvania. That is not a joke. That isn't, it actually is what you have to do. There's 2 towns, one's called Blue Balls and one's called Intercourse, Pennsylvania, and they're Amish towns. So it blows my mind. I just thought that was cool. Anyway, so okay, back to the space weather. Now, guys, this is a sun diving comet. It looks to me it could be a sun grazer, I guess. But so I'm going to slow this down. Let me pause it here, right where I need it to be. Okay, so you see it coming in here on the bottom. They're not always this bright, guys. Sometimes you see this little white light here. Sometimes I'll see them come in. I don't even mention them half the time because there's quite a few of them. That's what people don't realize, that there's that many comets, smaller ones, flying all the time. I mean, constantly. So, yeah, bird in hand. Yep, holistics for sure. For sure. It's true, guys. When my grandma took me there when I was a kid, because that's where some of my family's from. They're Dutch, so they came in that direction. And I'm telling you, for a 13-year-old kid, that was, yeah, Mark Burdenham, yeah, that's what Holistics just said too. Yeah, it's awesome. For a 13-year-old kid, that's one of the funniest things you could hear your grandma ever say to you. Just thought I'd bring that out there. Try to sprinkle a little positivity and a little laughter up in there for a minute. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom into this, guys, because I want you guys to see what I've seen here with this comet. So here's this comet. Obviously, the gray boxes is what the difference imager does. It automatically tries to block out that light because it thinks it's an anomaly, okay? Because it's so bright. That's what it's an artifact of the camera. It does it, and there's reasons for it, and that's why. But watch this. Oops. Hold on a minute. Now, also to understand this particular tool, guys, is again, it's there to detect CMEs, okay? That's what this is trying to do. You see this? The reds and blues, it tries to outline it, measure it, that kind of thing. Why is that doing that to me? Wish it wouldn't do that. It's ticking me off, I can tell you that. Let's do it like this. Hold on. Okay, we'll do it this way. So as it's fluttering in there, you see that's the CME, right? There's CME, that's plasma blowing off the sun. But check this out. As it gets closer, watch what happens. Okay, the CME detector almost looks, the camera itself kind of got fooled by this comet. And then now check this out. You see how it almost even bent right there? So I don't know if the sun actually hit that, guys. Okay? I think it's a camera thing, but because we can't judge distance here, all right? Because we don't have a side view of it. So there's 92 million miles from this camera to the sun. That's a lot of distance. So we don't really have a good judgment on depth. We just don't have an idea. It's impossible to know that. Okay? So we're left here to kind of go off the visuals and just kind of guess. Is this a big deal? No, it's just a very cool thing. Okay? Now you can see where the camera itself got fooled right here. Okay, that's why it did that. But as it goes forward, it does blast again. And we do know that these comets can instigate, especially active areas on the sun. And that's exactly where that comet was headed, towards that sunspot that's been firing off those X-flares. It's really cool. Yeah, I see here, think for sure. It's hard to tell distance, guys. It truly is. If you're trying to go off of, that's why it's so hard to forecast any kind of CME hitting. It is just such a, and at sometimes it feels almost like a crapshoot. It really does. And when it feels like that to me, you can bet I'm not going to give you any definite answers on what's going to happen, because it's just not a responsible thing to do. What we have to do in those instances is just go off what the official forecast is. Okay? And most of the time it's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal to people out there trying to find aurora, people that have like first responders. This matters to them, guys. It's their communications. Okay? It matters to everybody. It should. And, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to spread all this out to everybody so people understand. And I said this before too. What if somebody in your family that you love had a heart attack, and we had a whatever going on here, and it caused a 5 to 10 minute delay in communications? You see what I'm saying, guys? I mean, I know that seems like maybe far and few between, and it is. But it ain't for that person that just had their loved one laying on the floor dying because something like this happened. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Okay, now, I'm not trying to take it to extreme or anything, because if you just look at it in pure numbers, it doesn't really affect a whole lot in that instance. Now, when we're talking about like grid down stuff, obviously that affects all of us. But we can't just ignore it. This is definitely space weather stuff that we need to be talking about. These sun divers don't typically do much, but sometimes they instigate the sun to erupt. And just because we're looking at it from this perspective, don't think that we don't get comets flying across from right to left or left to right in front of us, in between. Okay? That happens. We just don't see them. And the reason we don't get to see them very much is if you look at these imagers, this one here I think is a 4 minute or 12. Yeah, 12 minutes. Every 12 minutes we're getting an image. Do you think it's going to take that comet, if it's real close to this satellite, 12 minutes to go in front of it? No, you're just not even going to see it. You'll see one image maybe, and that's it. Now they get more images than what we get to see. Okay, that's just a fact. That's what happens. But what we get to see is, it's for what we're doing here, and for the vast majority of us, it's what we, it's enough. Okay. So with that being said, guys, I mean, I just thought that was cool because you can definitely see. Now, this is that eruption I showed you guys yesterday. Okay, and this is that other eruption I showed you on the north side. Okay, now you can tell that this was pretty dense. Now, that was on the backside, okay? So that's not coming at us. But as you can see, I'm just going to push play here. We'll see that over here on the red imager. I just think it's really cool. But it's neat when you see the CME detecting part of this react to that comet. And, there is a possibility that the sun hit it, too, with that CME. Because, like I said, guys, it will instigate CMEs. And if a CME hit that comet is no more. I can promise you that. Also, the majority of the sun divers never, ever make it to the surface. The sun just eats it up. I'm sure there's been a couple, maybe some bigger ones that possibly have done that. But all the ones I've ever seen, that I've ever reported on, they never make it actually to the surface. So, we'll just, we'll put that one in our file cabinet here and just remember that. Now, what I do want to talk about next is something else that's really, really cool. And this is the story that Dr. Tony Phillips talked about. We're going to get there's a probability we're going to get a temporary new star. And I'm not going to go into great detail here because I don't want to read this article to you guys. I want you guys to go read this yourself. I've reported on this a little bit. I didn't spend a whole lot of time, though. I believe it's going to show up right there. Okay. Now, saying it's going to be I think he said it's going to be a visible, from, it's going to be pretty bright is what I'm trying to say. It's a binary system and it's going to go nova. Binary means it has two suns. Thanks, Steve Quigg. Appreciate you, brother. Anybody gets those memberships, tell him thanks. Thanks a lot, brother. I really do appreciate you, man. Hey, man, it's good to see you. But that's what happens here. Okay, it's going to go nova. When it does go nova, it's going to get really, really bright. And it's going to be in our sky for like 6 days visible. Okay? Let me read down through here a minute. Reach the self nova could occur between about September 2024, what it's saying. Yeah. So it's going to be about a +2 or a +3. It's going to be similar to the stars in the Big Dipper. That's how bright it's going to be. So you're going to see a star show up for about 6 days, and you'll see it fade back off. But it's not really a star. It's these two over here, and one of them's going nova. Okay? It's a binary system, and one's sucking plasma from another. I'm not kidding. Okay? If you guys go over here and read it, it'll blow your mind, the stuff that can happen out there, guys. It is just so awesome. Corona Borealis, the Northern Crown. Okay? It says the night sky is about to get, okay. A nova will explode in the constellation Corona Borealis. Right? The Northern Crown. That's what they're talking about here. In this constellation. Now, again, I'm not going to go in and read it because I would really love for you guys to go over here and read it on his webpage. You'll have to go back to the 7th to read it. Okay? But I kind of skimmed over this last time, and I told you guys I'd come back to it, and that's what I'm doing right now. We didn't have time to talk about it that day. But this is a very cool thing. So anybody that's... no. This isn't one of those things. No, Laura. So as you can see, it's basically two stars. They're interacting with each other. It's a binary system. Again, it's 3,000 light years away. One's drawing plasma from another, I think, is what's going on here. Or at least energy. I'm not sure if they're calling it plasma or not. Okay. Hydrogen from the red giant is being pulled down onto the surface of the white dwarf. So you got a red giant star. Okay. Now, in a white dwarf. Now, listen. Those kinds of stars are progressions of stars. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it at that without going into detail with that. But one of them is drawing hydrogen from the other. And eventually, energy in, energy out, guys. It says it'll trigger a thermonuclear explosion. So the last time was in 1946. So, and they seen a pre-eruption dip. This is what tipped them off to this. In other words, it got dim. It's getting dim. They seen this. So it's going to be boom. They're expecting another one. So that's just what I'll say on that. But please go over here and show them some love. Dr. Tony Phillips does a great job with this website. So, but guys, that's pretty much all I got for you today. We don't have a whole lot of, blasting off the sun other than that comet and the CME. As you can tell, guys, everything's green. Now, just because we don't have immediate, space weather going on doesn't mean that in the next 10 minutes, the sun ain't going to do something. Because that happens a lot. And plus, there's a lot of other things I want to talk about with you guys too. So if we have a day where we don't have a whole lot of stuff going on, I may take a day off, but I'm not planning on doing that. If that does happen, I will do a members only stream that day. Just so everybody understands. That way we can get some of those in and we can work on stuff. So I'm changing some things in my background and I'm going to be streamlining my process a little bit. And I'm asking everybody's opinion on things. Not just members, but everybody. Okay? And we're going to be working on some of that stuff. We're going to streamline this so that I'm not squirreling as much. I've gotten better. A lot better, actually. It's just hard for me not to say thank you. Like the deep quake right now, it's killing me not to sit here and just say, you know what I mean? That's just who I am, guys. I'm sorry. And I know it can be annoying, and I get it, okay? I really do. It's just, when somebody does stuff like that, when they don't have to, it's, I don't know. I just think the world looks at it the wrong way sometimes, and I'm not part of that. So, anyway, guys, guys, get over and watch Marfugal TV, Marfugal News. I'm sure they're going to be live here in just a few minutes if they're not already going. But yeah. Yeah. So get over and check out the Lifeboat 2 and Mark Inspires. Just get over there, guys. Go check out all the channels on my subscription list. I tell you guys, watch everybody. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Rampage, good to see you, bud. Ain't seen you in a minute. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you. But y'all have a good night. I will see you guys over on Marfugal. I'm a mod over there. Most of you guys know. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Cajun Red Deep Quake, thank you again, brother. As always, man. I mean, you guys have just been knocking it out of the park for me. And anybody else that becomes a member, I know every member is just as special as any other to me. So just understand that. And if you can't be a member, I understand that too. And I give you guys the same content. Okay? We just do a little like pre-stream setup stuff, and we make emojis, and we get to know each other a little bit deeper, I guess. But the content I actually do here doesn't change. So I just want you guys to know that. And it hasn't. And that will continue. But I want you all to know that I love you guys, each and every one of you. And you guys are all important to me and to this channel. So please share this out. That's how we get it out. We're gonna take this to the world, guys. Telling you, hey Trinity, good to see you, girl. Deep fake? Who's a deep fake? Talking to you, Deep Quake? You're killing me over there, Trinity. You love it. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, guys. I'll see you guys over on Marfugal. God bless. Yahusha saves, and yeah. You can drink this Kool-Aid.